All right, today we're going to dig into a really interesting new model for platform work, one that's actually designed to build local wealth. It's called the Community Services Cooperative, or CSC for short. Think of it as the engine inside a platform called My City Connected. Let's get right into it. To really understand why this model is such a big deal, we have to start with a pretty basic question, one that kind of challenges the way most of our digital world works. When you do work on a platform, who really owns it? And more importantly, who gets to benefit from the value you just created? And that question, well, it leads us straight to the heart of the issue with so many of the gig economy and digital platform models that we all use every single day. So here's the thing, right? It's the workers, the freelancers, the creators. They're the ones doing the labor that makes these platforms valuable in the first place. But the economic benefits, all that profit, it usually gets extracted. It flows upward to owners and investors who might be thousands of miles away, totally disconnected from the people and the communities actually doing the work. The model we're looking at today was designed as a direct answer to that exact problem. And this isn't some temporary fix or a feel-good charity program. The source material calls it a structural correction. So on one side, you've got that traditional extractive structure we just talked about. But on the other, you have a generative one, which is designed from the ground up to circulate value within a community. So how's it built? Well, it involves two totally distinct but connected groups, My City Connected and the Community Services Cooperative. First up, there's My City Connected, or MCC. This is the company that owns the digital platform, the technology itself. Now, what's really crucial here is its legal structure. It's a public benefit corporation. That means the company is legally bound to pursue a public benefit, in this case, building community wealth, right alongside its normal business goal. And then you have the engine, the Community Services Cooperative, the CSC. Now, this is a completely separate legal organization, and it's owned and democratically controlled by its members, the actual people who provide all the support and operational services for the platform. This slide really makes the relationship crystal clear. You've got MCC, the PBC, which owns the platform. Then you have the CSC, the co-op, which is an independent service provider that MCC hires. So this isn't an employer-employee situation. Nope. It's a formal business-to-business agreement between the tech platform and the co-op that's owned by its members. Okay, so how does a structure like this actually build wealth? Well, it all comes down to how money flows through the system. They call it the wealth recirculation engine. And this right here is the number that makes it all work, 25%. My City Connected has a contract that says it will allocate 25% of its net payment processing revenue and pay it directly to the CSC as a service fee. And this is a really, really important point to get. We're not talking about some extra charge or a new tax on people. Every single time you use a credit card, there's a standard payment processing fee that happens behind the scenes. This model simply captures a slice of that existing fee, money that would almost always leave the local economy, and it redirects it, keeping it right there in the community. And here you can see the full picture. That payment fee revenue gets split three ways, and it's based on a fixed, enforceable rule. So 25% funds the member-owned jobs in the CSC. Another 25% goes to local nonprofits that are chosen by the sellers on the platform. And the last 50%, that goes to fund the platform's operations, just to keep the whole thing running smoothly and sustainably. But look, this model isn't just about moving money around. It's about fundamentally changing the whole relationship between a worker and the platform they're on. It's about moving from just providing labor to having real, genuine ownership. So how do people actually get involved? Well, if you're a member of the cooperative, there are two main paths you can take to earn and contribute. You can be a base member, or you can go on to become a certified specialist. So, as a base member, your job is to provide that foundational support to a portfolio of local businesses. Your earnings come from what's called patronage distributions from the co-op, and they're tied to how active your portfolio is. Now, as a certified specialist, you can offer optional premium services. You get to contract directly with businesses and set your own rates. And the work these base members do is absolutely essential. I mean, they're the main point of contact for businesses on the platform. They help with stuff like onboarding, setting up digital storefronts, and getting all the payment processors hooked up and ready to go. Certified specialists, on the other hand, they're offering more proactive, professional services. This is an optional route for members who want to provide things like marketing strategy, maybe social media management, or even content creation. They act as independent contractors, working directly with the businesses. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter which path a member takes. The core principle of the cooperative is always the same. Every single member is an owner, and that means they have an equal voice. It's a real democracy. One member, one vote. They elect their own board, and they govern their own organization. So now let's zoom out and look at the systemic impact here. Because when you put all of these pieces together, what you get is way more than just a new way to work. You get a brand new engine for building community wealth. You can see the entire virtuous cycle right here on this slide. It kicks off when a local transaction happens on the platform. A piece of that fee that was always there gets redirected to the CSC. The CSC then distributes that revenue to its local members as income, and what do those members do? They spend that income right back into their local economy, making the whole system stronger. There's a quote from the source material that just nails it, I think. The CSC lets the people who support local digital commerce own the system that pays them. It's all about aligning the incentives of the platform with the people who actually make it run. And what's the end goal of all this? It's pretty clear. As the platform grows, it's not creating a disposable, algorithm-managed gig workforce. Instead, it's building an ecosystem of local owners and skilled professionals who have a real, tangible stake in their community's success. It creates stability and it creates opportunity. Which leaves us with a final, pretty powerful question to think about. This model is just one example of a different way of doing things. So what if more of our digital economy wasn't built from the top down, but from the inside out, starting with our own communities?